Everybody, welcome back to another Hardpoints episode. This one's 13. We're talking about Florida. It just happened this past weekend. Some exciting results. We saw some teams that have been kind of struggling lately in the CDL step up their game a little bit. A surprise performance from, an Optic Gaming, a Toronto. Some unexpected stuff going on. But there's one thing that I'm sure of. My predictions were terrible. I don't know. I don't know how someone like this bald idiot below me can continue to keep kicking my ass.
First?
You
Who's in
are.
first?
You are.
By one.
You keep, I don't know. How'd you know Optic was going to do well?
He didn't. It's one of those things where either he has to continue picking it, and it paid off one weekend.
You can't say that I just pick weird shit when I'm in first. I clearly,
no,
I know
fact
something
that
you
you're
guys don't know.
The optic thing is
you're sticking to it. It finally paid off for you.
Well, no, I said a week before that I gave up on them, but then once we got to it, I just was like, I think they're going to do it.
It was the pool. I mean, it was just
off.
a good pool for them. I mean, London and Paris. It's just.
I
steady decline.
I guess I put a lot of stock in the vibe thing and slasher versus dashy. I really thought a change of scenery would work wonders. And suddenly TJ had hands again.
That usually helps. We'll go into details, but first I want to throw up the placements for you guys. If you guys weren't able to see the tournament this past weekend, you can see up top there that Atlanta Faze, Crowder's team, big Crowder, Coach Crowder, Coach.
Faze Crowder,
Faze Crowder, baby. First place. Second place, Optic Gaming Los Angeles. Third and fourth, Toronto Ultra and Subliners. Well, that's pretty surprising. Rocker, Royal Ravens at 5-6, Mutineers and Paris Legion down there at 7-8.
And real quick, before I see a bunch of comments on YouTube, I just moved into a new house and we're painting and stuff. So there's like cables and open power stuff. I don't want to hear shit. I just moved to my new home. Fuck off.
Okay.
What are you? I don't think anyone is. What are you doing?
I have this painting that I can paint.
Don't paint during the episode.
Wasn't he the guy?
How long have you been awake now? How long?
I don't know. I didn't sleep last night. I was streaming.
We know. That's why I'm asking. You just picked up a paint thing.
Yeah. Got paint. Oh, no, my webcam's out of focus.
Dude, what are you?
You're an absolute clown. All right. You guys saw the placements there. Let's look at the points update. Faze gets another 50 from that one. Events played now all at 5 for all teams. You can see there on the graphic. Faze at number 1 at 170. Dallas Empire number 2 at 150. Huntsman at third, 130. Ooh. Rocker at 110. Mutineers at 100. Everyone else don't really care about right now. There you go. Okay, there's a little update for your placements for the event. The CDL points in terms of seeding. Clint, what do you got for me? What?
Real quick, I want to address this. I saw some comments on the Reddit that some people didn't understand. I saw Clay's tweeted sometimes complaining about the Minnesota weekend and the fact that those were hand-picked matches. I saw some people saying like, oh, there's no competitive integrity, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't make sense. Like Empire played hard teams. So the round 1 matchups, as we explained previously in these tournaments, are meant to mimic league matches. So those matches that they played in Minnesota won't be replicated within the bracket in these tournaments. Does that make sense?
So there took away one of those potential matchups later.
Yes. So
I did not know that. That's good info.
So Empire had like a harder Minnesota, but that means they technically would have easier round 1 matchups versus other teams.
So what you're saying is all the people whining about competitive integrity need to know that information.
Well, it can't be perfect because this format, this hybrid, it's not perfect, but people thinking that Empire got fucked, that's just not the case.
Okay. No, I think that's good. I actually did not know that. So I didn't know that was like factored in.
I might have just made that entire thing up. I'm not in league ops.
No. Well,
you are correct though. You are.
Yeah,
correct.
No, I think
they don't play like those other teams later on in the tournament first round. Yeah,
like you're not going to see them match up first round. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
I saw a couple comments. So yeah.
I guess we can go through the results from the groups. Talk about some of the specific matchups, specific teams. Kind of just give our take on what we saw from these teams. But in Group A, you can see up top there, Toronto. That was a very big surprise. A big 3-1, 3-1 back-to-back to make it out versus pretty strong teams, right? New York, Minnesota. I think coming into this one, I had no sort of faith in them be able to pull that one off. And then Minnesota dropping down and losing to New York in that the qualifying match was pretty surprising for me, at least. I just feel like for what we've seen consistency-wise from Minnesota so far, to see that, like they looked good, but there was something missing. We can go into the detail of what was missing, but I thought it was just very surprising to see them not perform as consistently as we've seen throughout basically the whole game, right?
I think the one thing missing, I think, like when you look at stats, I mean, Goddard's he was human. I mean, he had a 0.88. He's been averaging like a 1.1 to a 1.3 every tournament. And it's just the question of like when he doesn't perform that way, what happens? Yeah, and who's going to step it up? And you look now, like Alex was around a 1 with a sub, which is about normal, and Assault played well with a 1.15, but you didn't get anything crazy from Silly or Asim. And that's what we say, like the fact that he's doing a 1.2, 1.3 consistently is impressive because it's very difficult to do weekend in and out. And when they don't have their star power, when they don't have the slaying power, there's cracks in their wall, I guess.
Yeah, I've had people say we like overgas him. I'm like, what, dude?
Overgas. Look at the numbers, dog.
Has been absurd. Yeah.
Goddard has been a top 5 player this entire year.
100%.
Overall, for sure.
And that's like continued from the end of BO4 too. Like his stats, like he's been doing great. But it makes me think. Wait, we've talked. Go ahead.
No, wasn't that like? Didn't we talk about that, Joe, with like Simp last year? Like, how would they be when Simp was human? Remember how he started out and he was like,
yeah, and that was Anaheim where he like
had like a human event and they struggled.
Yeah.
It makes me think. We've talked about it before. It's like I wonder if individuals on that team have like changed anything. If it was an off weekend for just him as an individual, I wonder what it is. I mean, we need to see more moving forward. Maybe it's just an off weekend, right? It happens. They've been so damn consistent.
I don't think it's wrong to like sort of question though both Florida and Minnesota, because I think both Florida and Minnesota, when we saw them play and be successful, it felt like they were fundamentally ahead. Right? Like it just felt like they were doing the right things. And now the question becomes when everybody's figuring it out and these teams just have more talent, just plain and simple, they have more talent on their lineups. What happens, right? What happens to Minnesota and Florida? Because that is now the question, right? Like, because teams like New York are catching up. Teams like Optic are catching up. Hell, Toronto got better, right? This is no longer of a question of when they catch up. They are. So now is sort of, I think, the biggest test for these teams who figured out this game early on in Minnesota and Florida and how they perform in the future. Because we know, like, coming in, looking at these teams on paper, it's not like they're superstars from top to bottom.
Right. So you think it's just a matter of closing the skill gap, and now that the individual talent has to shine through more, now that these teams have sort of caught up at a higher level, you think
how do they respond?
Right,
is it
are they going to be able
like,
to innovate
is Minnesota's
again,
window closed? Like we've talked about them winning, could they win an event? Is it closed now? Like I don't think just yet. They've only had one bad weekend. They've been very consistent, but I think that discussion is probably worth bringing up at this point because
for sure
what we're seeing from teams is constant improvement, and now these guys are like, hold on, wait a second, what's going on?
Who's a good example of that? Or like, was it like
TK.
Chris at TK World War II? Yeah,
TK
they were
World
like
War
so
II,
far ahead of everybody, and then
then people caught up and they weren't that, like, they were still good, but they just weren't dominant back-to-back performance. You know what I'm saying? Winning events, good. It's just what it is. I mean, the middle of the season is by far usually like when it becomes like all the teams with the talent, they finally catch up with if they were being lazy, whether or not what they were doing, they catch up. Now this is when it gets really hard. Like, you see New York. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge New York fan. I mean, they're playing some of the best hardpoint you'll ever play. Like, if you go up against those guys, I can say from personal experience, I tell my team, you make a mistake, you lose. You know what I'm saying? Done.
That's
so
an
you
interesting
just can't
take.
do it. And then even if you don't make the mistake, you still now it's not about mistakes here. Sometimes it's about also putting up those numbers, slaying with the best, and like that. And I just don't think Minnesota came out with the fire this event.
Speaking from previous pro experience, obviously Crowder and Joe, Clint, you suck. Did you, as individual players, did you guys find a particular like era of games easier, like middle, beginning, end? I'm curious to think. For me personally, the beginning and the end, I felt like I had a very, very good grasp and I was ahead of the game. There was sometimes in the middle where I felt like I sort of lost myself in terms of confidence, I don't know, or just individual performance. I was curious to see if you guys ever felt like that. It probably changed depending on the game, I'm sure, but I was wondering because like I just noticed that trend for myself.
So my theory with it is I actually talked about this, I think, with RJ the other day about it. But my theory with this is that the beginning of the game if you're a quick learner, some obviously learn faster than others, yada yada yada. But like the beginning of the game is not really how well of a team you can be. It's really about like talent, outskilling people, and just learning the spots faster than the other team. You know what I'm saying? This kind of learning faster and then going from there. Like you saw how good Dallas was in the beginning of the game because they had the game weeks early and they were absolutely blowing everyone out in scrims. Like they just learned quicker. They were really good. And now obviously they're still really good, but like they had like that really, really high point in scrims in the beginning of the game. And then like that I feel like the middle of the season really tests a lot of people because that's where like you don't see anyone doing search tournaments anymore.
True.
Let's be real. Like no one's doing late night 4v4 one and dones anymore. No one cares. And that's where like you see, I feel like a lot of the hardest times for a lot of these teams or players that struggle. I feel like the middle of the season is usually that, just because honestly it kind of gets like stale for some of the players until they get that kick in the ass where, hey, you suck. And then it's like, all right, let's not suck. And then they kind of kick it back up in the gear, especially with champs coming around. You know what I mean? So I personally, that's like my theory on it. I feel like the middle of the season is a rough point, not for all players, but just for a lot of
just
players.
To have the passion. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard. And I totally, from a pro player's like point of view at a point in time, like I totally understand it. You know what I'm saying? Totally. Especially with like sometimes like this game hasn't had too many updates, you know, like there's not too much to learn. Like I see it, but usually it takes that kick in the ass where it's like Minnesota, you get smoked at this event, right? You don't make it out of pools. It's like, all right, guys, like let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even my team, my team, we got second, but like that second place was a fucking embarrassment the way we lost it. Like it was like everyone on my team was like, guys, we suck. And then it was like, never again. You know what I mean? So I think it happens to the best, and
for sure,
what it is. That's my theory.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, I always felt like the longer the game was out, the better I was. Yeah. I mean, I was always good at being in games, but it's more like I've always been like a super situational guy. Like, just as soon as like there's a play style on the map, I've always felt like my teams could. Like it was more about making the least amount of mistakes, right? Which was always like my team was. Yeah. I tried to focus my team around. So, yeah, I don't know. The beginning was always fun though, because it was just like a matter of who could figure it out the fastest. Like legitimately, I remember with like
I love that
AW uplink. Like it was just like who could figure it out the fastest. Like just stuff like that. Yeah, it was so it's interesting, but the other to Chris's point, the other thing besides like getting a kick in your ass is like what we talked about a lot of times is like the other option is roster changes to that, right? It feels like, all right, the team we wanted, not successful. You make a roster change, bang. Like every single time there's that, we're motivated now, right? We got this squad we want, or this player is really helping us out doing this. So be interesting.
That concept is still so weird to me. Like I understand it because I obviously was a player and I've been on teams where we had that roster change. It's like, oh, all of a sudden we're gonna start trying in scrims again. You know, but like it's just so weird. We're like, that just shouldn't really need to be a thing sometimes, but it's just what it is. That's just what it is. But to that point too, I also just love the fact that champs is now at the end of the year because like obviously like Tyler, when you won champs, it was like middle of the year. Right? Same for me too. I won in March, and like just thinking about that's weird. That's weird.
It was very
weird.
What I'm
saying? Because then after champs was over, it was like, all right, now what?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like
the other events weren't the same at all. Yeah,
because like now I think like winning champs, especially nowadays too, is like when every team is just at their absolute best.
Yeah,
like look at last year, you had United, EG was on top of their game, 100 Thieves was on top of their game, Faze, LG, like there's just so many good teams. Like that's like that's just pretty cool. But yeah, I definitely still think the middle of the season. So I stick to what I say. It's just that it's that weird time for a lot of teams.
Sorry to get sidetracked. I didn't want to make this conversation based on like, oh, we think Minnesota is just like completely falling off or anything like that.
No,
I think they're going to bounce back completely fine. It's just interesting to see GodRx have the performance that he did after what we've seen so far. Moving on, I guess we can go back to the top of the list that we have here. Toronto. So it looks like that this starting five that they're going with, it seems pretty good. You look at someone like Zinni's stats. It's just, 1.4? Guy was smoking people. He's back in his comfort zone, obviously. Like Zinni's good when he doesn't have to move around at all and he's just hanging out, chilling. Like his POV looks like the dream, right? So that means like whatever they got going on is working for him, especially, and everyone else is finding the groove. I don't know. Do you think it was like they didn't agree with like Looney's thoughts about the game? Do you think Looney was just performing bad individually? Was it? I don't know. I feel like when stuff like that happens, I feel like they maybe lost trust in him as a leader, or maybe I don't know who would be the leader now on this team. I don't really know some of these newer guys well enough, but you would think it'd be like Zinni, right? So maybe him, maybe him and Danny weren't meshing.
During a few of the listen-ins, Cammy was super vocal as well. He sounded like super vocal, like sort of we need to be here. But I think it's a lot of like, I wouldn't say leaders are disappearing, right? Especially, but it's more like I think with coaching staffs nowadays, I think like there's so many other elements to it that you just have to perform. And he wasn't performing well. I thought this would be a really good game for him, and it still could be. Maybe it's like an enable situation where, you know what, he was just a little bit unmotivated. This is what he needed. When he comes back, we'll see him. We'll see him at a higher level or where we expect him. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever, like, I mean, you talk about methods and the four around him, just super fast sub players. Nick played really well. I don't know. I think I wrote them off and it was silly because I think Chance said it. Chance said it during the Chicago event. Like they went, or was it Chicago or was it Dallas? Might have been Dallas. But they like lost to two of the best teams. Like they went to game 5 with Dallas, and then they went to game 4 with Florida. Like they played the other teams tough. So maybe we just didn't see their improvement because they were in such a tough group. But yeah, it feels like they're finally comfortable.
The fact that they came in and dominated like that versus the quality of competition definitely impressed me. I'm going to think much differently about them moving forward.
Yeah, this makes our predictions tough.
Yeah, it makes it way more difficult. It seems like a coin flip a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of is sometimes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like Toronto also, they have like a search aspect to them. They're a pretty good surge team. And I know we talk about this all the time. That's just so underrated, man. Like you hear me talk about New York all the time, and I still stand by them. They've gotten so much better. I genuinely believe they're a top 3 hardpoint team. You know what I'm saying? I think they are one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
But like they lose series because of searches. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not that great at Dom or search right now. They're here in hardpoint. They're still like in the middle. Like they still have other things to work on. And they know that, and that's why like I feel like teams like Toronto, you don't really just stomp out Toronto, and you never really have because they take the series deep, and now that they're kind of figuring out their respawn, like they're going to be a team that it's going to be scrappy. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to play like that team is a lot more well balanced than you think they are. You know what I mean? Like in talent wise too. Like they don't. I'm not gonna say they have like straight superstars on their team, but like they don't have any like buddy that should like no really weak links either. You know, like they're all pretty balanced. They're a good team overall, and to see them play well is exciting for this league. Obviously, with the competition, like it's gonna be good if they keep at that level as well. Especially with the way they played New York. For me, that was like super impressive. The way they played the hard points, the way they played against New York, that was an impressive series. What, Maven? Look like you're about to say something.
Oh, no. You're good.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were
I was responding to a DM. Maybe I made a face.
Oh, no, yeah.
I didn't sleep last night. So
yeah,
Building right now. That's probably what it was. Yeah, that's probably all it was. I just think you're beautiful. Hi, Chris.
I'm pulling up some stats. I'm just looking through. I'm seeing if there's like any like super standout performances, but like Zinni was dominating. Bance's KD was fairly low, but man, it really is just like Zinni and the troops.
Making Cammy.
Yeah, it's like Zinni and the troops, man. Like,
well, Bance was like
Classic did pretty well.
Bance was the number 1 sub last event, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's true. And then I'm looking.
I think it's too like who they played. Like I just think your subs, they're going up against some high competition. Like when you talk about them beating, going to a game 5 with New York or going to a game 5. I don't know. So. Yeah, that seems to be a formula. Is like that your subs around like a 0.9, your flex maybe at like a 1.1, and then hopefully your main AR is like absolutely destroying.
Yeah, good point. Looking at like other stats, we can move on to maybe talking about New York a little bit. About like, I don't know, Mac is continuing to be an absolute beast. The guy, the fact that go ahead.
What was the one kill he had, dude, on Gunrunner? Was it simply fried off the truck, bro? I was just like,
well, that was weird because Simp wasn't really looking at him, but like me and RJ said this, I was like, because to kill Simp ever, in my opinion, is impressive because I genuinely think I trust me.
Yeah.
What I watch in
not.
scrims, bro, I don't know
Yeah.
how he dies.
Yeah.
But like he wasn't really looking at him because like if you watch the clutch, like Simpton never saw him cross to his right. So it looked like Simp reacted late and like was like, oh shit, and like tried to snap on him. But like the way Mac ripped him off that heady was purely impressive. It doesn't like it was just insane. Like
It's
not many players snap like that and hit that shot. And he's good, man. And the way he played is good.
That stuck with me more than any other thing from that weekend, even more than like the ninja defuse. I don't know why, but I just remember like, oh my god.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even like the craziest thing. It's just it was so quick and clean. I was like, all right, that is talent.
Not everyone does that. I can promise you that. Yeah.
1.45 in S&D as well. That's what I like. We talked about New York not really seeming like the strongest S&D team, and you look at like some of the other people on the roster, their S&D stats. It's like it's Mac, and then a pretty significant jump to everyone else. So it's like S&D is one of those modes where you need somewhat of a more even performance from at least 1, 2, maybe 3 more people in the squad, right? So it'll be interesting to see just stat-wise moving forward if like they're able to make some better adjustments, because that is probably the main thing that is holding them back from being a championship contender, right? They got to find their groove in S&D.
Yeah, and I think like if you were a New York fan too, like the amount of growth they have shown and like how well like they've been playing and how much better they've gotten. You know what I'm saying? Like I think
Totally.
Like and I feel like even after they lost, like the players didn't seem too tilted. Like they seemed like it's all right, like we showed what we can do and we can do better. And like that, and I think like if you're a New York fan, like I would definitely be happy with the way they performed and like the attitude that they had, like the aura they had around them after that event. Like I feel like there was no negative side to that. You know what I'm saying? So I think like New York's definitely still on the up and up, like the up and coming still. I still think they're growing as a team. And I think they're going to continue to get better. I think they're going to be real scary here soon, like within a month. Like they already are scary, but I think they're going to be even better.
For sure.
I was real worried when they lost to Ultra, and then Ultra were good. So I was like, I was less worried. After the first series, I was like, oh my god, what is going on?
For me, it's I think what like Chris was talking about earlier. It's just like I don't know if it's a map, like the maps they're playing and their vetoes, because I think Chris was talking about it like before this. Like you guys felt really strongly about your vetoes against them, but it feels like either they need to practice the maps they feel they aren't strong on more, or it's just simple as their dom and search has to get better. Like their hard points could be solid. The problem is when even when your hard points are solid, you can't always like guarantee them, right? Against your Atlantas, against your Chicago. So you just can't. You can't always. You never know what you know what a simp is going to do on the map, right? He could just have a crazy game and destroy you. You never know what Scum could do or Envoy. Like it's really hard to guarantee those against the best teams in the world. So like you have to have a very solid dom and a solid search, and it's just I want to believe that they're going to put together that like full game. But I just don't know with like the players on this roster if we've ever seen that from them. Like that's sort of what's worrying me. But I think with like the coaching staff that they have, they should be able to do it.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like I know we kind of touched on it earlier with like the leader in Toronto. I think coaching staffs are super like almost underrated in the sense of like how it works in Call of Duty. Like I always joke around saying like I do nothing with my team just because like obviously the players are so good like talent wise, but earlier in the years, especially like TeeP, Joe, like when we played, like no coaching staff, like your in-game leader or your leader was just the guy that was pushing everyone to do their goddamn job, right? Like to show up on time and just like show up and practice scrims and all this. Like now that you have like a staff, management, and a lot of other things to it, like I feel like becoming that complete team is a little bit easier if you're obviously doing it right and the players buy into the system.
Buy in,
you know what
right?
I mean? That's what I mean. Like it's just so different now where like it's not necessarily you don't need a leader because like you know how much I hyped up Lamar. I think I had a lot of kind words from him on Twitter after too. Like I genuinely believe that like people like Lamar, he will push your teammates, he will argue with you to the end of the death and to like get his point across, but he'll never shut down on his team. He'll never ever like I've never heard Lamar just go, it's chalk, bro. Like and then he stops trying himself. You know what I'm saying? And like that, but that's a characteristic that a lot of people like do lack. Like when things don't go their way or they can't get it their way, they kind of shut down too and stop trying as well. And where he never does that. And that's why I think like with this New York team, why they've gotten so much better, I really do believe it's solely because of him. And then he also has the support of a really good coach, good staff to help him kind of like get that completeness around him. So I think that team's still like super motivated, and I think the coaching staffs are like very underrated. I feel like having those people now just helps so much to really make sure everyone's on their bullshit.
I mean, even looking at like the stats, like they as a team put up stats we haven't seen all year. All of them are around a 1. Like, like you guys won, Chris, but you know your guys are all over a 1. But they didn't have like as tough. You guys didn't have as tough as a group as like New York did. Like New York were in some dog fights, and all of them are out of 1 or higher. Like we just simply haven't seen that. Like, so these guys, we obviously know they have the talent. It's just the deeper series. Are they going to be like prepared for a game 5? Right? Like that's to me is the difference maker right now.
Yeah, like is their map pool deep enough? And that's exactly like Crowder. Feel free to back me up on this. You don't need to put a lot of time in on your strong maps. It's your middle of the road, weaker maps where like one of those maps out of the pool, usually you can make 3, 4, 5, 6 tweaks and really get like a big bonus on one of those maps if everyone's like on their bullshit, like actually like looking into these situations, noticing trends of where you're failing, whether it be an offensive or defensive, like whatever it may be, right? But like the coaching staffs, if they can improve those things, it's like that's when your vetoes, you get like these sleeper pick maps, like those middle of the road where you can pull that out if you feel like you've made like considerable improvements on, I don't know, a post point setup, a particular A strat on a certain map on offense. Like that's when you start to notice those differences. And I wouldn't be surprised if a team like New York would be one of those teams to, you know, have a randomly better S&D map. So like just speaking like vetoes wise, it's like you have this big ass list of data. You notice what you suck at in particular. And if they can make those changes, you get those sleeper picks and vetoes that sometimes it can pay off, sometimes it might not. But like that's when things get very interesting, especially at like this point of the year where we're sort of like, I don't know, halfway through-ish. So
yeah. And I'm looking at like the veto process. Like you just ban Ramaza and Ramaza. Like, I literally see it. You ban Ramaza.
Right.
Like,
wait, I have to say this. I usually don't bring stuff like this on the podcast, but didn't Minnesota tweet don't play Donnie on Ramaza in anything and then play Ramaza against them?
No, New York tweeted that and then they lost him, didn't they?
No, New York didn't tweet that. I'm almost positive Minnesota.
I thought Tim tweeted it.
Tim tweeted it, but then Minnesota did. Yeah, you're right. They played back-to-back Ramazas, and they were still really close games, though.
No. You can't just let a player tweet and then get scared from it. I thought for some reason someone on Minnesota tweeted don't play Donnie on Ramaza anything, and then like Minnesota then picked Ramaza, and then I did. Never mind. Then okay, I thought I read that wrong because I actually thought that was kind of funny. I was like, what the. Like what? Like didn't you just say don't play these guys on this map and then you picked it? But never mind. Yeah.
So what did they just not pick?
Did I make that up? No, they beat Florida 6-5 there. Did I just make that up? I thought they lost it to somebody.
No.
I thought I might.
They played no. New York played Ramaza a lot, but they played very close Ramazas.
Yeah.
Even the one against Florida
why
that
didn't
they won
play Petro versus you Hardpoint?
I thought they lost the search there.
Wait, what's up?
Why didn't they play Petro Hardpoint versus you guys?
You want me to tell you why? Because the veto system is stupid. So like right now, Team A just has such a significant advantage because Hackney, Petro have an extremely favored side.
So Team A, you picked Gunrunner, which doesn't have like extremely.
We picked Gunrunner because we were Team A.
If they pick Petro, you get good side. Got
it. It goes by a coin flip. So like that coin flip determines the series, which is
okay. Gotcha.
But like so like that's what I'm saying. Like that's where. But then again, though, like the no excuse kind of factor where it comes in is just like you have to have you can't be bad on that bad side. It's just what obviously like. That sounds stupid, but you really have to be able to be prepared to be Team B. You have to be. And
I mean, but they won Hackney, but they still gave you good side Hackney.
Oh, we threw that.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I mean, you threw about 4 hills. I know.
Yeah, don't get me started. That's what I'm saying. Like that was pathetic, and that's what I'm saying.
If there's things, I think I said it. I was like, if there's things Clint and I can point out and broadcast while we're casting, and we can point out issues, like. That's a major problem. Like a lot of the times if teams have issues, I very doubt that casters can like point it out. Like maybe we catch 1 or 2 things, but there was like 3-4 hills where Clint and I were like,
I'm pointing it out. That's a problem.
Yeah. We're like Atlanta definitely through that map.
The first thing I said to my team, so they win. They're all happy. They win. Like I sit down in this chair. I entered the TeamSpeak users, join your channel. I go,
You're stuck.
no, you guys got to get fucking better. Good job. That was bad. That was literally, I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like, obviously I was super happy that like we did go from absolute ass at Hardpoint to like way better. We started winning them, but like still like I hated the way we looked. I think we can be so much better. You know what I'm saying? So like, and they all literally, Major Maniac goes, yo, like no bullshit. You're right. Like you're 100% right. Like so like they understood, but it's just like, yeah, like I still think we played like ass. Like the good side on Hackney, they gave it to us. Like we should never lose that, in my opinion.
True. This actually takes me to it's sort of a change of topic, but this sort of brought it to my mind. With you talking about Faze and how they need to be better, blah 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 blah. So we put Empire number 1 once they got the second win, right? I saw a coaches poll and I've seen some fan polls, and a lot of people still have Empire number 1. Am I blasted for not understanding that at all? What Faze is number 1 without Faze is number 1, like power ranking. Faze is number 1 without question.
Why are we number 1 without question?
Why would you not be number 1? The only thing Empire had over you was the 2 wins. You have 2 wins now. Every single statistical category.
They beat them the last time
they
played
beat us the last time they played us though, and we looked like absolute garbage.
Is that the one? So is that the one thing you'd hold over it? Even though, like,
I mean,
if you go to
head to head, I would.
I mean, look, if you're gonna ask me personally,
Faze would still have.
Well, but head to head on land, they haven't beat us on the map. But that has nothing to do with it, because if you're gonna ask me personally, and obviously I'm biased towards Faze, they shit on us the last time we played them, and you're only good. You're only as good as the last time you played each other, or you're only as good as your last match. So I don't care if you win 6 tournaments in a row. If you lose the next 3, you're not good enough.
Your overall map record, match record, every major statistic is better.
No, but that's I put when my power rankings, I put them number 1. I put it Faze number 1, just so you know.
Number 1 too.
I agree, but I think that's probably why they got to the 2 wins first. They looked.
I see that
they've looked dominant. Like
that's
when
all
we
they had
watched
over
Faze,
them for me. Was 2
wins. But even like recently, we can say teams are getting better all you want. But the last time we watched Dallas, we all left that tournament like, holy shit, right?
Wait,
like we
played terrible when we played Dallas.
Yeah.
We played horribly. Do I think we've gotten way better? Yes. But did we prove that against Dallas? No. So until then, you really can't argue that.
Yeah,
I don't see the problem with that. I'm not sitting here.
As soon as you won, I was like, they're number 1 again. That's just
And so like, I mean, we just saw them. They went game 5. We talking Faze. They just went game 5 in another semifinal. You're 15 seconds and TJ Halley running backwards from a potential another game 5 against Optic Gaming LA.
Easy should have ran backwards too. We would have won earlier.
Okay.
Easy did the same thing. They
cut
both
those
did
rounds out. It was still like you're still seeing like very close games where like I just don't think we saw that with Dallas. So I think that's people's arguments. Like if you put them head to head again, I know which team I'd pick, but I get the argument. I think it's a fair argument.
The last time we played Dallas, we were crap. We played like crap, and they won. Have we gotten better, in my opinion? Yes. But have we proved that against a team like Dallas? No. So therefore, I don't really think you can argue this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, because this is more or less, how much faith do you have in my team actually getting so much better that we can now beat Dallas again to like where we used to? Or was it we just didn't run into Dallas in the finals? And you really can't argue it, because you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just feel
my argument is, I look at gameplay. Dallas looks less sloppy. Will that change? But the next time you guys face off, probably.
Do you have Dallas number 1 right now?
I think just like based on what I've wrought, it was total recency bias, purely like off of gameplay throughout the last couple turns. Like they just look like clean. It's like clean gameplay. I don't know how to describe it. It's like when the game, when you're watching a team and it looks like it's fluid. It looks easy. It looks like basic. That's it's like the eye test type.
I just said it as the coach of Faze. I literally went in there and I said, guys, like, congratulations, but we still suck. We still need to be way better than that if we want to win again. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is.
And like how much of it is your just individual talent taking the fuck over, and you get like
that's what I'm saying. Like we by no means did we win that event, and we did not look sloppy at all. We looked terrible, but we still won, and that's cool. But there's still like I think we still need like to take it to the next level. If we want to be considered a top caliber team, our standards need to be higher than that. And if we want to play Dallas Empire or any of these other teams, like, we have to have more consistency in not being as sloppy. And I think that's like, so, and I even said that and they agreed. So we just have to stay on our grind and just become better every day.
Even you're sloppy, you've lost 12 less maps than them and won 6 more.
And I still think we should be better than that. Like
I know, but like I guess that's maybe I'm not.
Going off of recency bias,
thinking of like overall,
I totally
like
see that side.
No, I mean, Clint, your points make sense, like stats
That's
wise.
what I mean.
But even Clint, even Clinton, like, sorry to cut you off, Chris. Even like power rankings in pro sports, like
it's usually recency bias. Yeah,
it is super recency. It's based off the last week. Like,
no, I actually find myself kind of agreeing with you guys now. I don't. I still would have Faze, but I get the point. Whereas when I first saw Empire #1, I was like, what? No, that makes sense.
It's just
I wasn't thinking about it the right way. I was thinking like the year sort of versus like
for sure.
You can't hang on to our matches when we played them head to head and they
I get it.
That's why when I defended Dallas when we lost at that tournament, and I had a lot of people saying like, "Don't worry, bro, you 3-0'd them on land twice." You know, like that. Dude, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a shit? And that happened months ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one cares anymore about that. Like, and that's like why, you can't hang on to that. Like, last time they played us, they beat us. They looked good.
I was thinking more like you split.
And now it's like it's up in the air. Now it's up in the air. And I think, I think it's really what you have to leave it at.
I was just curious what you guys thought, but now
no, it's a good. No, that was a good topic. Yeah.
All right, we're talking about really, really good teams. Let's talk about Florida's performance. Not good. Not good at all.
Not the best.
What happened? What, like, they look
like
a mess.
Were any of us that surprised? Were any of us that surprised? Which is
me, kinda.
Okay. Maybe a little surprised. But, all right. Was anyone sold on them completely in here?
No,
I wouldn't say sold, but like
I wasn't. I mean, after winning a home series, I don't think I would expect like an 06 like this. But
they got
I think
slam dunked out of the tournament.
Yeah,
smoked.
And I think when they won, who were the two players we talked really highly about afterwards, saying that were X factors? It was Havoc and Mox.
Yeah,
I thought it was Frosty too.
Frosty was kind of on that too, but
maybe not.
Yeah, but
all three of those guys got smoked.
Yeah, I mean, Havoc and Mox were both around like a 0.75, which, like, again, that was our problem. When has Havoc ever shown consistency from event to event?
Well, that's always been his flaw.
Right, yeah, that's exactly it.
It's been happening for years now, right?
That's the same thing, yeah.
Ooh,
had a bad one.
I mean, we'll see. I give him another event because
same thing with Minnesota.
I'm gonna keep it 100% too. So sometimes you just come out and get smoked too. It happens. Yeah. It really does. Like, like it's just what it is. So you give him like that one grace period, but we'll see. Like, I can say, like, personally, like, leading up into that event, like in scrims, they didn't look at that great either. You know what I'm saying? So like, but maybe like, shit was just not going right. I don't know.
From what we saw, for them to look at like at a high point to get 06th, like, you can't. I don't know, man. That sticks out.
It's
like
unacceptable.
Sticks out like a sore thumb. It's just unacceptable. Like,
if
you didn't even win a map. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, you see Dallas, right? So so I know Florida wanted to be considered a top tier team, and I kind of was on their side. Like, they won, they got second. They had a really good track record. But like, when you don't win, you don't want to get 06th, right?
Yeah.
Like, Dallas doesn't win. I don't know what tournament they didn't win. The one before they won. What did they get, 4th semifinals? You know what I'm saying? Like, at close semifinals, they got booted out. All right. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Like, when we didn't win LA, like, all right, we got semifinals, lost a tough one to Minnesota. It's going to happen. All right. Like, we need to get better, period. Like, when you don't win, you don't want to just show up to a tournament, get 3-0, 3-0 out of the tournament. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's where, like, it's a little bit more scary in the sense where you're not always going to be at your top level game, but you don't want your floor to be down here. You know what I'm saying?
That's the scary part.
Like this. Yeah, that's the scary part. So
you don't want to go from first to 8th.
I just feel like I have to. I feel like I have to give this more attention. Imagine if Minnesota or like Chicago did that, where they have like a good performance and then they go 06. Like, people would be losing their fucking minds, I feel like. And it's like, it's Florida. I'm not too surprised. Like, they got smoked. I don't know.
Well, I mean, but in the sense of like taking track records out of it, taking placements out of it, if you looked at Florida, but like you wouldn't expect them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see inconsistencies in that roster, or like just as
every player who's been consistent.
That's what I'm saying. Like, other Skies have been pretty. Yeah, Skies you have to give Skies credit
over their career, a whole career. Who else?
That team is a great team when they're firing on all cylinders.
Farrell, look at his stats from like Pro League and stuff last year. He wasn't always frying. He was like MVP, and then
that team is good when they're firing on all cylinders. They've proved that, and that's why I love Florida. You know what I'm saying? I think I picked them to get out of the groups and stuff.
I think Farrell's good as shit.
But of course, I don't think anyone thinks Farrell's bad. But like, in the sense of like just that team right now, like, you can't have that low floor. You're not going to show up to every tournament and win. No, you know what I'm saying? No doubt.
Of course.
But like, you when you don't show up, you want to get 4th. You want to get 2nd. You want to win one match. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just get 3-0-3 out of the tournament. And who'd they get 3-0'd by? They got 3-0'd by New York. All right, New York's a tough team right now. And then they got 3-0'd by Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, obviously 2 good teams, but, like, you got to take some, you got to show some.
You got to win a map or something. Give me something.
No, so I totally see what you're saying. And, like, if they want to be considered like that top caliber team, which they're trying to fight for, because I know, like, we talked about them a lot and I was kind of on their side, like, you just can't have that low floor, period. And I think they know that. I'm sure they weren't like happy with it. You saw some of the players' tweets, so they're just gonna get back to the lab and try and fix their issues.
You said they're getting bopped in scrims too. Maybe they just take their foot off the gas pedal.
They weren't playing that well against us in scrims. I mean, maybe
are they bullshitting?
They found a little slump. I don't know. Well,
maybe they're bullshitting. Maybe they had some success and they're bullshitting, bro.
You've been a part of a winning team, so have I. So has Joe. I've
been a part of the bullshit sometimes.
Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen it go down. So
like you get on. You don't know what's like a Wednesday after an event. You're like, we're good, bro. We lost some maps. Fuck it.
You get smoked, and you're like, we just won. These guys suck.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think this is easily. I think this is easy. Also, just a fact of the event they won of what was it, Dallas? Like, I think with Pharaoh, probably the first time seeing them in like official matches where they were all on the same page. Like, I think teams just vetoed their better maps. Like, what did Toronto? You know, I just don't think people knew what to play them on. Like, and then you just sort of do your thing. And you realize, well, Florida's really good at this. Like, what did we not see? We didn't see Petro Dom again. Like, people weren't playing them on that. So, I just think teams adjusted. Like, you adjust to match to match.
The most successful teams, right? Like 100 Thieves last year did really well. TeeP, I'm sure your complexity run, like a Joe, like all your top teams you've been on, like you have a map pool that you can't be like, you know what I'm saying? No one can just counter you. Like, for example, if someone were to veto Arsenal against us last year, we'd laugh in their face and say, all right, Hacienda, first map. You know what I'm saying? And
I hated vetoing you guys because we sucked at both.
And it was great. And it was a great time. I loved every second of it. And
that's what I'm saying. Switched. I'm like, we got Hasi or Arsenal.
Then you vetoed Arsenal. And then, like, you were really good at Hacienda.
Yeah.
But then we were 8-0 in Gridlock. So it was like, all right, now what? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you have to have that deep map pool if you want to stay consistently, like, you know what I'm saying, consistently on top of your game. And obviously, like what you kind of just said, like if you're getting your best domination vetoed and you're not really winning the other two, you know what I'm saying? Like, now what?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah,
your second and third string maps.
That's a very good point out of Joe, in my opinion. Yeah,
for sure. Like, how deep is your map pool? Florida, maybe they're just getting exposed for their second, third string picks. They're not that good on them. Good point.
Yeah, I mean,
it's important to think about.
You don't really know. Like, this is all speculation for the podcast sake, but they could. The map pool could be deep. Maybe they were just bullshitting for scrims. You have no idea, but yeah. I've been a part of the bullshit. Though.
We're just guessing, bro. I mean, 3 players got smoked bad. Something happened.
I mean, or it could just be an off weekend.
Or an off weekend.
Pure solely just off weekend. You never know.
I think it's important, though, for both Florida and Minnesota to have a much better performance, I think, in the next, like...
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're nice performance.
You get that kick in the ass, and you're like, all right. But you can't get it twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what... Yeah.
Alrighty.
That's a bad... If you get it twice, that means... That's a bad sign. Either A, you're just not taking it serious, or even when you're taking it serious, you're still not getting there, which is like, now what do we do? So we'll see.
Let's cover Group B.
Let's do it.
Brackets back up. As you can see there, the bracket, the 2 teams that were lackluster, I guess I'll say, is Paris and the Royal Ravens. I had sort of higher hopes for both of these teams. I don't know. The OGLA doing well just makes this so interesting because now I don't know what to talk about when it comes to the Ravens and Paris. Like, they're just so meh. Like, they're not bad, but they're not good. And it's just like they're in these weird spots where they're not really showing these. I guess one thing we can talk about on the Paris side is the role change, right? The role change from Dennis. That, in our professional opinion. Yeah, let's.
Luka played better, which I think is the point. Yeah, but Dens did not. No. And I mean, Zed had a bad week. Kisman had a bad week. Yeah, it just. I don't know. They're both very similar to me. I think what's weird is that Paris started off this year, and we were all like, "What?"
I was like, "Damn."
Yeah, I was kind of like, "I'm buying in." Which didn't buy in.
Just nothing,
bro.
We talking about Legion?
Yeah.
This is an example of the team was kind of ahead, and now they don't have the talent to keep up.
You think it's
Simple-
a talent thing?
Yes, I do.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know if I agree.
See,
Maybe.
I'm a firm believer. You guys know how I view COD. Like, talent is obviously a huge issue. No, not for them. I'm saying in general.
Yeah.
Like, you need talent. Period. If you're not winning gunfights, it doesn't matter how correctly you play. You're losing. But like, yeah, I just think like that. Like role switches, even our role switch. Like, I know we didn't do good with our role switch. We got second. We looked bad. It had nothing to do with the role switch. It had everything to do with just not knowing how to play the game and like a consistent system. So like, I just feel like right now they just look behind. Like, you know what I'm saying? They just looked like they weren't like on the same page in the way they wanted to play certain specific situations, and they just don't like. They just have to get there. Like, I don't think the role switch, to be honest, coming from someone who just did it, had too much to do. Like, I just love Dens on the AR.
So do I.
That's why I would
Tell
be
me
like, I
who
don't
on
know
their
about that.
roster. Tell
But,
me
like,
who on their roster was ever a top player in the league.
What do you mean? Like a dominant player? Oh no, I'm not. See, look, I'm not arguing that they have. Like,
I think
talent
Shocks
here.
is good. I mean, it was a fucking mind freak.
No,
like,
Shocks was very good.
Shocks was great.
The only two you could say is Shock and Dens, right? Like,
yeah, but
ever.
like even they were like
had a consistency issue.
Are they going to maybe beat a team in the pro league? I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow.
You're right. You're right.
No, you're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong at all. But like, yeah,
their subs are getting shit on.
Yeah,
they're
that's what I'm saying. Like,
shit on so bad.
I like his bit. I mean,
I just don't know if they're getting shit on because of how they're playing, or like, for example, like I think Abizi played very well this weekend. Abizi didn't get better or worse talent wise. It's just the game. We learned how to play hardpoint as a team. So, oh my God, Tyler's like, wow, there's gunfights in front of me now that I can win. You know what I'm saying? So that is a very overlooked thing in Call of Duty, is easy to hard gunfights. Tyler, you should know this. You know what I'm saying? Joe, you know this. Like, when your team knows what they're doing, you're on the head glitch like, wow, these are easy kills. And then when your team doesn't know what the hell they're doing, you're running into freaking formal like this.
Oh, trust
it's not
me.
fun.
That was me in fucking BO3. Like, yo, TeeP wall run. I'm like, fuck.
So I'm not defending the talent thing. Maven, you're not making a wrong point, but like, there could definitely I feel like the way I look at things, I just don't rule people out because they can't win.
We're getting to the point where people know where they're going. And now who's going to shoot better?
I just, because I don't want to spend a ton of time on these two teams, because I think they're both in a very same spot. And they're not really showing signs of improvement. I think they both probably need like a change. I just think we're at like.
Would you say they need a superstar?
I think for Paris, maybe just going back to like Dens, but it feels still like, okay, the reason they switched Dens and they felt something was off. Like, I think they need like a sub to be a little bit more consistent. And then London, I don't know if Nasty is their calling or what, but we are at that point with the best European, or what we think is the best European team, and we have these high hopes, and they're just not performing. And it feels like
the best European teams on Warzone.
What?
They keep winning stuff. The European players are winning Warzone tournaments. Probably snag them up to get big star and Jukies and Wars. And
I thought you were taking a shot like they're playing too much Warzone.
No. I mean, they win Warzone tournaments, and I win in COD tournaments.
Okay, you had a good weekend out of Weskin. Like, Dylan was finally a little bit better. I don't know. Like, I agree. I don't think they're a superstar, but they are, like, it feels like a role player or so that could get them on the same page away. And their search has not been great either.
I feel like I look at London and I don't think talent is their issue. Like, I don't think, like what Maven was saying. Like, I don't look at London and I'm like, they can't do this. They don't got the manpower. Like, I don't think that at all. Like, I feel like what I was saying about playing the game correctly and a bunch of other stuff that we probably don't know behind the scenes is affecting them. There's just no, like, this team should be doing better with the talent on their roster than they are right now. And I know our series started off a little weird, but like excluding our series, like, who'd they play next? Optic. And it was not pretty, right? It was like a 3-0. Like, I don't know. I feel like the talent on this London team is too goddamn good for them not to be doing better, in my opinion. I think very highly of these players on London.
That's what we've been saying. That's the problem. I don't know why individually. I mean, Dylan has been like at his level. Scraps has been pretty solid, but nothing like crazy. I guess you look at like Jerd and Shawnee, and like when it was rated, you look at that trio and you just say, what's going on?
I think it's the flex.
There.
I think
You think the flex? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's the individual player's fault. I just think the way this game plays, like Rated and Shawnee is just not what this team needs, and that's not their fault. I think they're great players. I think they would thrive in another team. I just think with how this team is built, like, I don't know. I think if you slot in, I don't know.
Yeah, like Shawnee can't have a 0.85 as a flex, right? That's just not a thing.
I'm trying to think of an individual player that would fill that spot, but like
Alec,
I don't know, an Alec, a gunless
Singularity, bro. I don't know what Singularity's doing, but they're winning a lot. And I don't know how good Nasty is, but they should get him over.
I don't know. I just think I still think like the system of COD, like they're just not playing the game that's like making it perfect for them. They like make it easier.
Are you worried about leadership at all with them? Like almost with, I'd say, not like Optic, but in the sense of they obviously. I'm trying to think of what to compare it to. Like from a player standpoint, not even like coach, just like when I think of that team, I don't even know how to word what I'm trying to say. Like I feel like there's not like there might be like a leadership issue or something there where like.
But like, what do you mean? Because my team doesn't like the biggest thing when our team.
Yes, but you're all on the same page. I just don't know if
that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I mean. Like I don't think
you're
a leader.
Saying it's more of like they're not on the same page, like organization wise. So you're even bringing in like probably coaches at that point, right? Like getting everybody on the same page.
Yeah, like I don't. Yeah,
kinda.
They have a lot of coaches.
I don't know if that's true, but like I
think
I feel like they do.
I
feel like they do have. I feel like they do have the talent.
They did. No, wait. I know they have the talent.
Yeah, okay, we know
what I'm saying. Like, yeah, they have.
But it's almost like the Optic thing, which I think Optic kind of came down to a coaching / leadership issue, which we can talk about more later. Something was obviously wrong there, and it wasn't getting fixed. Like, I guess I just feel like London, something could click for them, and they could be very good, but right now they're not.
It's not even though. This is the thing. Like the way we say that though reminds me of Florida. Like we're having the Florida discussion. Yeah, it could click one weekend and they could win. That's not like to me. That's not what I'm looking for, though.
Yeah,
like, I'm looking for when can we expect these guys to get to a semifinal every event?
See, I think they could though. I think with these, I guess I feel with these players,
okay,
I think they could. I think I don't know. If I'm thinking of Dylan last year, like if he can get to that,
I'm waiting.
In scraps.
I'm waiting.
We're in May, Clint. We're not there.
When do you chalk
look at, dude,
I'm starting to chalk.
Optic had 4 of the best Call of Duty players of all time and couldn't win a match. Like it's not easy to win, man.
Well, it's not. Well, no, it's not easy to win, but it's just I know I keep going back to it, but when you're playing the wrong way, it is also impossible to do good.
Yeah.
Like when you are not like Abizi is one of the most talented Call of Duty players in this game right now. Plain and simple. He runs in first. He is the fastest player basically of all time, other than a few others.
We watch and search, dude. I know he's getting blood or he's getting the blood.
That's what I'm saying. And he does it well, and he's really talented, right? While doing it. Where like if the game is not being played correctly, he's going to play like ass. Yeah. It doesn't matter how good he is. That's what I'm saying. Really like for people like Dylan to defend Dylan, like this isn't defending him because obviously they clearly need to get their shit together in that sense too. No, I know, but I'm saying, but like if you want to, like if you keep saying you want to see like Dylan, it's hard to really do that when your team is not on top. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much more to it that I feel like a lot of even like fans give people shit where it's like it's harder.
I feel like they're close, man.
I don't know. They are. That's what I'm saying. Like I have faith in them. I picked them to get out. You know what I'm saying? Like I have faith in them, but the way they played Optic scared me a little bit.
For how much better that these other teams are looking in comparison to them, I'm so worried about them. I don't think they're there. I don't think
they recovered.
What do you mean by they're close?
Close to winning? Tweeted me that they didn't recover from that. Like I know for a fact he didn't. Like I don't think
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I don't think they did. Like he literally tweeted me he didn't. But, I think they're clse to more to what you said, getting to a semifinal each event. I don't think they're that far from that.
To my point of that though, this is another point to this event, like in the format here. That losing a match in pools means absolutely nothing. Literally nothing. If you lose your first match and then you win 2, you are in. Maybe you play a different team, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, it does not matter. The team that comes out, like when we win 2 matches in a row, right, and then we go into in our semifinals. In the way I view it, we should get the seed. We should get Team A because we came out winners, right?
I agree.
And It's not like that. We get a
it's
coin
not.
flip.
Wait, what?
It's not.
Wait,
No.
it's a coin flip for semi? What's the
Yes.
point of winning your group then?
There is no point, and that's my point. So that's why, like,
boo.
I agree, and that's obviously something that hopefully gets
I'd
fixed.
be.
But
I'm glad I'm not a coach anymore.
My team has never lost a team like a match in pools yet, and we've always come out, but it's always goes to a coin flip, and we've lost a few of those. So it's like
what?
So what Maven said,
and Team A's fucking wow.
That loss obviously sucks. It stings. I wasn't even happy with winning that map. You heard me. The entire thing was stupid. I don't even get me started with that.
But do you get Team A if you're top side of the bracket?
No.
Wait, when you get to bracket play, you don't.
No.
If you come out of winners, you don't get Team A.
No.
That's what we were just saying.
So it doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you not? Why would you not though? No, that's what I'm saying. Why?
Yeah, right.
Okay, well that's my point though. So like losing that match realistically shouldn't hurt you that bad because it's not like, oh, now we're fucked for winners. Like you're not. You know what I'm saying?
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Though. It should.
It should.
Well, I'm telling you, it doesn't. That's what. I promise you, I'm not lying.
Why?
I've coin flipped.
Sure
we played New York in the semifinals at 2 events ago, right? We came out of the semifinals.
Change that, Joe. I'm the commissioner.
I'm not on League Ops anymore. I did not agree with that one. That's not me.
We came out of semifinals and played New York. We got Team B. We got smoked on Petro, remember? We had the bad side of Petro and we got embarrassed. It's because we had Team B. We had to pick Petro or Hackney. And we're like, shit. Yeah. So we picked Petro. But we came out of winners. You know what I'm saying? And New York came out of losers, but they just won the coin flip.
That's
why I'm saying, like, of course that match stings. I don't that stung me and I was on the good side of it. Like I hated that. But like that can't affect you that much because it really doesn't do anything.
Yeah. And that's Chris, can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
Do you think maybe it'd be a good idea to design maps where it's not as heavily favored on one side?
I mean, that'll always be a thing though in Hardpoint though, right?
Yeah, there's gonna be a more favorable side. Hopefully the favorite.
Thanks for the serious question, Nathan.
I think more to what you're asking, Clint, is do you think that there should be a spawn system to where a team can actually flip a spawn? And then which I would answer yes to you. Because that is the big problem is there's such a strong side because you can literally not flip spawns unless all of you fucking die.
I cast my eyes.
Imagine if you could flip P2 Hackney. Imagine.
It's like,
you can if you get 17
kills. Exactly. Against pros, no shit. You're not doing it versus pros.
Parallel.
It's very hard to.
Don't even get me started with this spawn system.
Parallel four down. Not fucking flipping.
Let's not go down this path.
Not fucking.
It's gonna get way too toxic. Let's move. Let's move on, bro. OGLA. Money Chain. They needed the vibes, bro. OGLA vibes, baby.
I think it's far less than more I've thought about. I think it's far less about the vibes, and I think it's more the role thing. I think Dashy's being the full-time sub. Something fucking clicked there. Well, the vibes help.
Yeah, but here's my thing, Clint. They had to have tried that. They had to have tried that.
I'm pretty sure they have tried that. Not a full-time.
So
he was so hesitant about running the sub, dude. He was so hesitant.
I love Money Sheen, but you're telling me Cap can't do what he did?
No, he can't.
If not better, I think Cap is the second R. Is like I will say Chino's probably a better search player than Cap.
Why
which
wasn't
is probably
Dashy running
important.
Sub? He fought it for fucking months. Dashy fought it for fucking months.
They had to have tried it. I don't know.
You would think, but like Dashy was hesitant to be flex, much less full-time sub. The whole battle was him being flex. He would be full-time AR. That took a whole fucking tier 2, 3,
anyways,
4.
The reason I think it was vibes, Chino didn't do well at all. I'm not pretending that Chino had a good performance. Like,
no, TJ just realized he could hold a fucking controller.
Right. So I wonder what happened. Did Chino attribute enough that everyone? You're so weird. That
was TJ fucking on the main stage.
What?
Dude.
Again,
come on, webcam.
I love Sheen. He didn't have a great performance. He would probably even say that himself. They could have very well won the damn thing if he could have played better.
It was hard. I mean, he also didn't have a lot of time to practice, right?
So,
it's hard to just push into those. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, I think if you give him a month, I think he got put into a tough situation.
They finally showed that team has enough talent that if one or two guys aren't going off, they can still.
That's what I'm saying. So
let's be real here, though. This team
was not the problem.
This team was never even with Cap on the roster, we were never like Cap needs to go off for them to win. That was never the problem.
I didn't care if Cap played.
Yeah. So that's my point. So it's like it was inevitable that this team eventually had 4 of these guys that actually started playing like themselves again, and they did. And when they do, you see what happens. So it's like they have a great roster. It's just I mean, I think it's one of those things kind of where they got just even though this has nothing to do with Cap at all. I really don't like I think they just got like that new roster, and then all of a sudden this spark of motivation happens a little bit.
If I was
like
Cap, I would choke slam the fuck out of TJ. I would pick his 80-pound, 4'11" ass up and choke slam the fuck out of him. If I was watching that tournament, I literally would put him through a fucking wall. I would be so fucking pissed watching. Joe and I were casting. We were like, "Oh, TJ. Oh, that's right. He is one of the best players in the world." I literally texted Cap. I'm like, "You should fuck him up." I think he was like, "Yeah." Like, bro, I would have been so fucking mad if I was Cap.
Dude,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's gotta be so frustrating. Like,
so frustrating.
This could be completely wrong because like I don't know if they like any of their internal issues were fixed, but like I just feel like that spark of just new life just kind of made it a little bit more fun.
I think it's probably a mix of both. It's probably a mix of like Dashy is full sub, probably also like Chino. Probably he 100% helps vibes, and he probably helps. He probably even helps Austin. Like he helps Austin. Like him and Austin are fucking boys. Like 100%. 110% he helps him. He probably calms Austin down a little bit. He probably like instead of maybe staying a little bit quiet, he throws a joke here or there, right, to just sort of get people laughing. I'm sure
we know Cap is. Cap,
from what it looks like too, he gasses Kenny a lot. He don't say anything. Kenny's the best player in the world.
Kenny played a lot better too.
Wait, and I feel like that's been slept on too. Kenny's been kind of silent all year, and Kenny is nasty.
It's been slept on because TJ has been so bad. Like
that's what
Kenny,
that's what I'm saying. Kenny is
like a 0.9, but yeah.
But Kenny is Kenny.
I know.
Bro. Like,
I
love Kenny.
Watch.
Bro, everyone knows when I coached Kenny last year, dude. Everyone used to say in the pro lounge, like, I don't know about like, no, I would always have Kenny's back, bro.
I picked him to be the MVP this year. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So it's like, I think that entire spark of life of having their talented players do what they're supposed to be doing and a little bit more showed how good this Optic roster can be when things are clicking, and hopefully they kind of run with that and they keep with that. I don't know if some of their internal issues that. But let's be real. There is definitely more internal issues than we know, right? There is still probably some that we still don't know about. So like if they get fixed, then maybe this team stays at that level. And then this league gets scary. I think Clay tweeted it. Like if Optic wakes up, that's another team, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't know.
You know what just hit me, which is funny. You know how I said what I say a couple weeks ago that Seattle Surge, if they continue to suck, they'd be the most disappointing Call of Duty team of all time. That actually was one of the dumbest statements of all time because that Optic by far would have been that. Like that would have been the most disappointing team of all time. Like with that roster, if they didn't finally start to click.
But like at that point,
they made a change.
Yeah, and at that point, they made LA to a semifinal, right? Like they did get to that
they
point.
showed some kind of like
they showed signs where like Seattle might not get out of
they were bad
bracket
that long. It's still impressive they were bad that long. Like
no, I know what you're saying, but yeah, that's what I mean. So it's I just feel like there's some more issues that we still don't know about that hopefully get fixed. Because if this team starts competing at the level that they can compete at, this league is going to be even more entertaining than it already is to watch. You know,
you want to touch on the Pac thing at all?
Probably should.
I mean, yeah. I guess my thought on I love Pac. We worked with him on the broadcast side. Pac's a friend. The way I view it, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if this was due to like the pandemic, because I saw like Rally. It's not with Optic anymore. I don't know if they were like letting people go.
I don't think it has anything to do with that.
It might not. But the way I would view it is, even if it wasn't, let's say it wasn't Pac's fault, they were struggling to have those players, and we know there are internal issues. He needed to find a way to Phil Jackson the shit out of that. Like they were so bad. I mean, it's results. They were so bad. Some blame has to go with the coach. And so there is part of me that thinks if like you were the coach there, something makes me think you would have solved that faster. That's how I feel. And like I love Pac, but like I don't know if he helped the Dashy versus Slasher situation I don't know. And we don't know.
I mean, what do we always talk about? Like the coaching in game, like you're obviously there to help and you can help solve team issues, but like it's just as much as managing people. And that's what it comes down to. Like
players could have turned on.
We know that these internal issues were happening. Who does that fall on then at that point to fix those? That's the big question mark, because I think this is like this changes
This is a good
CDL
topic
and
to talk back.
the way people think about probably their jobs at this point now. Because up until this point, you were signed to a 1-year contract, right? Through the CWL or through orgs. And I think teams just sort of dealt with it. They just, they were like, you know what, this roster, maybe we have a roster changer here, but this is our team for the year. Like, this is our squad. This is our coach. And afterwards, they would make changes. This is the first time where we're having staff change, player change. It is very much of, if you do not perform, you are like basically, you have to basically perform or you're gone, just the way it is in pro sports.
You're right.
So, okay. So here's a I mean, I'm sure there'll be YouTube comments about this, and I feel like, or I kind of want to hear your thoughts on it though. Like, coming from a coach and a player, obviously I was a player before a coach. It's like the hardest part about coaching is not you go here, you go here, you go here. Anyone can do that. You know what I'm saying? Anyone could analyze gameplay. Let's be real. But like, it's about managing personalities, creating a culture that is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever culture you want to create. Some coaches are hard asses. Some coaches are different. Like, every coach is, you know what I'm saying? And then getting the players to buy into it, right? But then it goes to the point where, not saying this about the Optic guys, but just in general, like, when does it become on the players where like they're not buying into it because they're kind of slacking off too? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I don't know what happened with the Optic roster.
Same thing with like pro sports. I really don't know.
I'm seriously not like, I'm not speculating them at all. I really am not. But it just comes to the point where it's like, I told my players after we lost to Dallas, Joe, you know what I told my players. I don't want to go too far into it, but you know what I told them, and I was fucking serious. You know what I'm saying? And I said, like, if
that brings us to a bigger point though, like because it's you, like like Slasher. Pac could probably be a great coach for like a different team with different players, but with someone like Slasher, like I can picture Slasher like listening to you and you kind of getting through to him. It's hard for me to envision that with Pac, I guess. Like, I think if he had different players than maybe Slasher, people like Dashy, he could be one hell of a coach. But
I mean, you see that in pro sports too. There's coaches that just
100%.
Yeah, but 100%. That doesn't make Pac-Man a bad coach.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I think maybe that's all
I just want to make that clear. Like, I don't
that particular situation just didn't click, and maybe he'll get another job and be great.
Great. Yeah.
Like, I can just picture you telling Slasher to fuck off and like respect Dashy or whatever the situation is, I don't know if Slasher would listen to that as much from Pac as he would from you. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah, I never approached Slasher by telling him to fuck off.
But
the only thing,
you, Austin.
My last point that I'll say, the only thing, and I brought this up even as a player, the only thing in which I see this as a wrong thing is, okay, did management tell him, if you do not perform or the team does not perform better in the future, your job is on the line? I imagine
that's common sense, though.
Huh?
I can't be the only one who think that's like common sense.
Okay, but what about the Gunless thing? Because Gunless said that he was never told, and I feel like there needs to have a conversation.
Well, that's a little bit different though, because that's like team and individual results, like for someone like a player, whereas for Pac, it's just like literally team results. They weren't winning.
Well, like, I disagree, because
you're not winning. How do you expect to be the fucking coach?
Listen though, but like even like comparing this to pro sports, there are always like, okay, they had a discussion about the future of this person's job. Like, it's probably the last chance. Like, those discussions happen all the time.
They need to.
They 100% do. Yeah. And then there's also the other side where they wake up one day and the owner's like, all right, I'm done with this guy.
Yeah, but he's like the coach of the Yankees when they like the talent. Like, they bought the talent. They have all the talent. Like, there's a different. I don't know. If you don't, if you're with the top players like that, you have to perform or you're out.
If I know anything about how most of these rosters were built, or if how these organizations are run or anything like that, I don't know who actually has power over the players. The players make their own rosters. The players get what they want. The players run the shit.
Eric's probably involved more than a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. I would think so. But if let's say Slasher and Dashy come together, you're two, I don't know, superstars, the ones that have been performing on the team, and they disagree with Pac being the coach. I'm not saying this is what happened, but like, I think the only reason this would have made sense is if the players don't feel like they're getting value.
See, I think this probably came from upper management.
You think so?
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think this came from Immortals fucking like president or some shit that said, we have spent all this money on some of the best players of all time. He can fucking Google Slasher and Dashy, even doesn't know shit about COD. And be like, why the fuck aren't we winning? Why is our team stink? Why are we second last in the rankings? Something's got to change.
So they'd rather that than
I have
not
no
having
idea.
a coach?
I honestly have
do you
no
think,
idea how it went down.
Or do you think they're going to try and find someone else? Or
I would
They're going to try and find. They're going to try and find somebody
Yeah,
else.
so?
I feel like they try and find someone else,
Yes.
and I feel like just with like I don't know. It just comes to the point where it's just when does it become more on the player too and not the coach's fault?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Totally.
like, and then well,
It's
then
both.
there's
It's both. It is both. Of
My
course.
point
It is both.
My point is, I think this is a
Half
still
that drops
very
on Capitol.
player-centric league when it comes to structure.
which in my
really think it
opinion I
does.
think is an issue.
It definitely is.
I-
I might be
I
completely
think-
wrong. This is totally just
No,
my
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong.
like. I don't know.
Well, the problem is that like a lot being a player of my own, and I've had flaws as a player too. I wasn't perfect. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like a teammate here and there, and it made, and that was when I was a little bit younger. But like it made me play worse. It made the team's vibe worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I had a coach to tell me like, yo, Chris, stop being a dickhead. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you don't, you're gone. Like I would have been like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right. You know what I mean? Or like if you don't, you're benched. I'd been like, all right, like maybe I have to stop acting like an idiot, because there's always the person from like the outside world, which is like the coach kind of, where it's not like in the game with you, and he sees it where it's like, bro, like every time this guy speaks, you're treating him like an idiot, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it's like you're clearly not doing this the right way, and like you might not even realize you're doing that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So like there is both sides to that. I don't know. I just
think it's like this. Like if someone like was like, hey, Pac, like, if you don't do well this weekend, if you don't get to a grand final this weekend, like you're fired. Like I imagine Pac at that point would probably go to the I would go to my players and be like, hey, listen, we don't play well. There's a good chance I'm out of here.
Yeah.
What do you guys need, or what do we need to do, or this is what we need to do? Like legitimately, I get it, but like that in a way is motivation for players, because none of these guys have been in situations like this.
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah,
TJ, if you don't stop fucking around, I'm fired, bro. Like, what do you mean? Like that's a thing.
That's just
That's a thing, though. But that is the
that
thing.
comes with the territory. It comes with if you have
But
some
it
of the best
hasn't,
players in the
because
world.
this is year one, and these guys have no clue
this is new.
the impact. This is brand new to these guys. They
No, maybe
have
for the
no
players. I'm
idea.
saying for Pac, you got to know if you're Pac. If you're without being that bad, you're gonna get fired.
But he's not playing. That's my point. Like he's not playing.
It's
So for the players,
it's
for the
interesting
players,
to
I
talk
get it,
about.
Yeah, but
no, it's just weird because
let's
like
do this take.
who do you hold
Like,
more accountable?
Let's do. I'm out of
Who do I hold
coaching
more
for now,
accountable?
right? Like, do you guys think like my placements this
Players.
last year was enough for with the roster
No,
that I had?
I have something good for you. All right, fine.
Yes, because
You think it's
I
enough?
also knew it's the same thing of where players didn't buy into your system.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Because I talked to you.
I mean,
I've never
obviously
talked
you have
to
more
Pac.
context from me, but
Yeah,
But no,
I didn't talk.
I had
to Pac.
20,000
I don't
subs.
know.
He'd be a fuck about his team.
All right, but look,
Shut
look,
up,
let's
dude.
but here, Tyler, let's talk about it though. Okay, so your team was notoriously known for wasting people's fucking time in scrims.
Sure were.
I would schedule. Well, we didn't scrim you guys because we didn't get along. But if we were to schedule a scrim with you guys at 2, I heard this from other people. You guys would show up at 2:45.
Sure would.
Now, if you're a coach, right? Who is that? Is that your fault, Tyler, or is that the player's fault? When like who's accountable? You know what I'm saying? Like obviously, I know more context behind that because I know you.
That's the or
But-
do. Like
but
That's a
That's
tough
my
question.
point.
That's a
And when-
tough question for me to answer. But
that's
I
what I'm
needed
saying.
more-
We all
That's
agree
what
it's the players, right? Like we all
Yeah.
agree it's more on the players.
That's what I'm saying.
100%. Yeah,
It should be
we
more
all
on the
agree with
players,
you.
but
Yeah,
like 'cause
100%.
however,
I can't.
But let me ask
if
you
I
this,
had
Pete.
more, if I had more power and say, "Yo, here's what's
That's
gonna
what I'm
happen."
saying.
Fucking Cap scapegoat, Pac scapegoat. Like that's
Yeah.
Well, that's what
I want to ask you this though,
Pac probably
Pete.
could have been better, but
Go ahead, Jeff.
Because you guys did like you guys were friends, like you guys were like a family, right?
Yeah.
we
Like
were,
you know,
for sure.
what if you literally if
Yeah.
you went to them one day and were like, listen, management isn't happy with the way we're performing. They aren't happy that we're the laughing stock of the community because we know we're late. They basically told me, if this keeps up, I'm fired. Do you
Yeah.
think they would have kept that up?
I think they would have.
I mean,
had
I
my
would
back.
hope not.
Yeah, right. I
So-
think they would
Yeah,
have had my
I
back
agree.
completely.
That's my
Yeah.
point.
Even with like Dashy say like he's not showing up on time or some shit. That this is hypothetical, right? If Pac-Man goes to you're saying like Pac-Man goes to him and is like, listen, Brandon, like I understand, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you're not happy here or whatever it is, like whatever. You make up some story of like what's going on. They know more context than us. Like, but on a serious note, like if you don't start like doing your job, like I'm losing mine, and like I like my
Yeah.
job. You know what
you
I'm
think
saying?
they
Like,
care
Yeah.
more about that than winning?
Honestly, I think it's a motivator. If you want my honest opinion,
but like,
if you want my honest opinion,
what motivates me personally in life is others. Like I would like, you know what I'm saying? If one of you guys came to, like, if we were a team right now and I was being an ass in the sense of like not showing up on time, and Joe was our coach, he came to me, he's like, yo, Chris, like, love you, bro, but like, if you don't start doing your goddamn job, I'm getting fired. And then like the way my mind works is like, holy shit, I'm being an asshole. And now Joe's gonna lose his job.
Especially because
that's like that. I don't know. That's how but
that motivates you more than winning. You should be fucking competing.
Okay. But that's I think there's an extra layer to this though. That's my point though, is like yes, there is a human element to it. And the fact is like the players probably had zero idea that this was the thing. What did you say? This came from upper management. Players probably had zero idea that this was a thing. Maybe they really liked Pac. How do we know? Maybe they did. What do we see all the time? It's like, nope, players stick up for their coach. Players go to the GM, like their GM, and stick up for their coach. Like that happens all the time in sports. Like it does. Like players have their coaches back if they want them to. They could have had no idea, zero idea. But if Pac would have done that, who knows? We have no clue. But that's my only point with it.
But the other side of things, maybe the players also weren't happy. We have no idea. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea. And I mean, I don't see a world where that's true, but I don't know. Because like at the same time, like when RJ coached me, my assistant coach right now, he was a coach when I was a player for a little bit. Everyone knows the Faze clan in World War II was ass for a little bit until like towards the end of the year when we won that tournament. Then at that champs or whatever, we did good. If you came to me and were like, yo, your hard point is garbage, get this guy RJ fired, I would have been the first person to say our success rate being low and us sucking has nothing to do with RJ. And if you fire him, you're an idiot. That's what I would have said, because RJ got on every day. He made sure we were on time. Preston used to be late to scrims all the time. He put him in fucking line. He said, listen, if you stop being an asshole, and he gave him the speech, and Preston stopped doing it. And then like he showed up every day and he helped us try and get better. If I was going the wrong way on the map over, if I was not doing this, like that's on me. And that becomes more of a less of a coaching issue. That, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where, I don't know. Like I think
it's
like
the topic though.
Yeah, no.
The more we talk about it, it's like it has to come from higher up. Then, like the more we, it's just like
that's what I'm saying. No, that's why, because it's just weird for me being in a coaching position where it's like I would never. I want my players to know like I show up there and give them 100%, and like if the upper management of my organization was coming down on me because we got second at that event or we got fourth and we weren't winning anymore, like I just feel like sometimes it's not always on the coach. Like players' work ethics can also come out of like with them too. Yeah. But then the other side of the argument where people will comment is like, well, isn't the coach's job to get them to buy in the system? Isn't that your job to do it?
That is. Like, there's a lot of different elements.
It's a very weird topic.
Like,
it's just something.
The whole point is like, what happened enough to where this actually like went through? Like
I think it's a results thing. It just has to be.
It has to be results.
At the end of the day, it's results. I mean, this had to have been decided before the weekend because they got second.
100% decided before the weekend, and any idiot in the world, even if you don't follow COD, can know that the results weren't good enough.
Yeah. I mean that's how it works in sports, right? Like
but it's like we're at this point now where this like people paid enough money, they better get their results, right? I think it's a wake up call for a lot of people. Like,
on that note, who do you replace him with?
But real quick before that, and again, like sort of like I said, like with the Yankees thing, this isn't the Ultra with their roster, or this is Optic Gaming with 4 of the best players in the world. There is a different pressure there for results. There is, just like any real sport. Like there was definitely pressure for results. You take the money side out of it, dude. Just the fucking names and the talent.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Like it's not the same thing. Like you could start out with 1 win if you're fucking Ultra or Legion or somebody when you don't have the pedigree of players they have there. Like Pac was under more pressure than most coaches. 100%.
You're totally right.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. Like I see both sides of the argument. I'm not saying one or the other. It's the player's fault. It's the coach's fault. Like I've just always been a little bit more curious just to hear other people's thoughts about it. Just because coming from being a coach now, like I've watched some of my teams lose, and I can honestly say when we lost at Dallas, I could have probably been a slightly better coach, and I think my players could have worked harder. We talked about it. Our culture is a lot different now, and Joe, like what I told you behind the scenes, like shit was said, and that's it. End of story. If anything changed, and it will not change for the rest of the year. We made mistakes. You grow as a person, you grow as an organization and a team, and you get better. I think we did that and we got better. So it's like, I don't know. It's just
Chris. What if Optic offers you triple your salary?
What do you mean?
What if
Like,
Optic offers you triple your salary
like,
to coach?
No. I'm not leaving my team.
Like,
ever.
who are they gonna
Triple wouldn't do it?
No.
What's the number, Chris?
I'm not a money-driven person, Maven. You know that.
What the fuck? Money drives everyone.
That's my point. Like, if they're trying to get someone else, like who's even on the market?
I don't think it's a COD thing at this point, in my opinion.
I coached Unite to third place.
No. Put your
I
hand
think.
down.
Look, I think
Saints and Ricky.
if you're asking me honestly, I feel like having the right culture over there and laying down, like, you know what I'm saying, is going to be important. Like, I know Austin has kind of openly said it here and there that he doesn't like when the players show up late. You know what I'm saying? TJ and Dashy have been notoriously known kind of for not showing up on time. I feel like that right then and there is kind of annoying. I think you kind of need someone that's just going to go in there and just, like, obviously if John's gone now, like, whoever comes in next is not going to deal with bullshit.
Yep, I agree. I think it's
my opinion.
looking at like the Immortal family all together. They're in other games.
On the team, bro. You don't need an analyst.
What do we talk about?
Yeah.
You need a people manager, and I think they owe that direction. I think they owe someone who puts in a system for them. If you don't follow the fucking system, you get fined. Whatever
Joe,
it is.
You'd be good at that. Joe, be good for that.
I would love to do that, but
oh, fuck you, you're not going anywhere.
Pay me triple my salary.
You still want my salary?
Yeah.
No, you're just
I just think it's as simple as that. I mean, you see it in other games a lot. Like, I think because I'm like a huge league guy. Like when league started to grow and evolve, it was very much like ex-retired pro players would come in, they would coach, right? What we're seeing now it's more of like there's just like people you've never heard of, like just getting these positions because they had a good interview, or people. There's too many personal relationships, I think, is what it comes down to for how serious of a business that this is nowadays. There's too many personal relationships. It's really tough to be friends with like your coach and your manager.
Well, it's really tough in any job. I feel like, to be friends with people or work with people that are your friends, because A, that ruins friendship sometimes, and B, like, it also puts you in a very tough spot when you have to fire your friend, or it puts you in a very tough spot. You know what I'm saying? Where you have it's just what it is. It makes it awkward sometimes, and also sometimes you don't see the real colors of someone, like where you might love this person as a friend but not as a worker. You just don't like their work ethic. It doesn't mesh with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that is true. And I think Joe's completely right. But I just feel like if you're asking me honestly, with Optic, I've coached Austin. I promise you, he is one of the most brilliant minds in Call of Duty fucking history. I agree with a lot of his philosophies of how to play. I feel like it's more of like a culture thing, making sure everyone is getting along, making sure they're doing their jobs, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I really do think. I think coaching, in my opinion, from doing it myself, Tyler, you've done it yourself too. Maybe you disagree, maybe you don't. I think the people's manager and the culture is much more important than anything else.
I agree.
I think that is what makes a team last a longer time. I think that's what makes a team stay consistent throughout the time they're on, and they're going to go through thick and thin. But when it's thin, how are you going to get through it? You know what I mean? Like, that's like where I feel like
that's where you get like the bang for your buck in a sense, because obviously there's a lot of turmoil on my rosters. It's like at certain times I had to have an individual conversation, like yo, I had to do my coaching for like individuals at a certain point, because there's a gigantic split in the team. It's just like it gets tough sometimes. But yeah,
I had a lot of one-on-ones with Enable last year. Yeah. Literally, I had a bunch of one-on-ones with Enable, but like that also shows you that player cares, right? And right. There's a lot more to coaching, in my opinion, like behind the scenes that you don't see too. It's not like my scrims last from 1 to 7 o'clock usually. But like sometimes there's that 9 o'clock phone call. You know what I'm saying? Where like you need to talk to one of your players and be real. Like, there's a lot more to it that people don't know. What's up, Maven?
Looney retires and coaches Optic.
Ooh. I don't think he's done yet, but
I don't think Looney's done yet.
I think he's one of the few players I can think that might be able to do something.
So I was sort of going through that in my head too, like.
That's exactly what I was doing the last 5 minutes.
Who would I like? That'd be a good fucking pick.
All right, what about Cap?
A lot of people just think it'd be Cap.
Yeah, and Cap would be good too.
But I don't think either of them are done yet.
I just don't.
I don't think they're done yet either.
I love Cap.
I don't think either of them are done yet.
It's hard because I've never seen Cap in a position like that.
I know
Right.
Cap
I don't know if I
could
could see Cap.
I'm like
yeah.
close. Like I've been too fucking drunk with Cap. It's hard to say.
I could see Danny in a like a role like that. I don't know if I could see Cap. I don't know.
Cap would be, or Danny would be great at it,
Yeah.
especially if he was given like the right power. Like,
Yeah.
He was given the right power, and that's the thing too. But it's also like you have to go from the other side of things too. Is like, would these guys want to do it?
Yeah,
like
right.
you can't just get thrown into the coaching role and be like, oh, he'd be good at it. Like
It's
you
a
have to
tough
want to
gig.
do it.
It's a tough gig, man.
It's good.
Because like there's a lot.
Dude, it's their legit job, bro. More longevity than playing. Like,
Yeah, but the job's not fun
at all.
Is playing fun sometimes?
And what do you mean by longevity? Like he just lasted Pac 5 months.
No, but you're good at it. If you're a good coach,
that's-
bro, like.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it's still like you can be a good coach, and then that's what I'm saying. There's also the other side where players just say like, "Hey, dude, fuck you."
Yeah, I guess we don't know if Pac was a good coach. So
that's what I'm saying.
We don't know. Like was he a great coach? I have no fucking idea. But
that's what makes
would
this
assume
conversation
with that
so
team,
hard.
With that team, probably not.
And I feel like you never get these conversations about coaching because it's so new to the COD world. So I feel like you never get to talk about this. That's why I think this was a good topic to talk about. But if we want to move on, we could, because I know we.
Is this a 4-hour fucking episode? I said a short one today, fellas. We are halfway through the show.
Dude, I said someone was like, sure. I was like, we got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Cat's probably sleeping, dude. We're good.
No, I think it's fun to talk about. Honestly, I like want to go back and like ask my players previous that I coached, like, was I good? I don't know. Like, I feel like I did a good job. I know how I am as a person. I think I'm a pretty good leader when I need to be. I'm a kind of a hard ass. I'm like on that side of the mentality when it comes to practice and shit like that. Like less fun, more serious. Let's get fucking better, right? Like I always wonder, like, if I ask the individuals, like, what do they like? What they not like? I don't know if we're ever gonna get that information until like years down the road, you know?
Well, yeah, even like on the side of my coaching too, I feel like the way I coach 100 Thieves to this team is like totally different. So it's like, I don't know.
Right? It's like
I feel like
you've had so much success. So like people are just gonna like, you're good, right? You got so many fucking wins, different rosters, right?
It's like I don't know.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
I
feel like for me as a coach, and give me your take, Crowder. It's like it's up to like the players if they thought I attributed to their success enough, you know?
Yeah. I know, but I still, even like the success thing, it's like I think success is just I don't know. Like there's still, in my opinion, I still think there's better coaches than me out there in the sense of that, and like and like I don't care how much success someone has. I really don't. Like it's just there's still so much.
That's all people see though. That's all people see.
Yeah, that's like what makes a good coach in sports to not a good coach. It's results. It's just plain and simple. It's just what it is. What's a good football coach?
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it, man.
I guess that's true.
You know that's what's discussed on talk shows. Like there might be a few coaches who, you know, have been in some tough spots and like players will vouch for them, but
but then what comes like, but if a player's vouching for them, it could just be a friendship thing too.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I mean, I would love to come out a lot more open about this topic, but I can't. So
yeah, I know it's not time yet, right?
It's not. Time.
Yeah, he's probably telling lies to like fuck up other coaches, dude. What is this bullshit?
No, I'm just not. I just on the coaching side of things, there's a lot more I wish I could say.
Yeah, right. For sure.
That'll be the day.
Yeah.
Well, that was
that
was a fun conversation.
That was great. I loved every second of that. And I feel like that was
the whole snowball off of OGLA. They got second place. Pac-Man is not coaching them anymore. That's what that topic kind of sprung.
I wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, I know. I wish I like Pac. I hope I wonder what's next for him. It'll be interesting to see, and to see if who they maybe go for. If it like I don't know. It's weird. Like Cap could be the coach, but like Cap's not happy with them. Obviously.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
That's just a maturity thing, though. If it's like, you know, someone comes to you and is like, "Hey, we really want you to do this," or if it's like, "Hey, I'm not done."
Well, it comes to it too.
Cap's like boys with everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd be good at it.
No, Cap's a cool ass dude, man. And
I love Cap. He's one of my favorite players of all time.
Cap's like one of my best friends, man. I've known him for too long.
I just have trouble picturing it.
My thing is,
I don't know. It's like, hey, you're dropped. Want to coach? It's like
when I didn't make the league. I was fucking not happy, but like I wanted to retire. You know what I'm saying? I wanted out. I wanted to retire, and I was like, obviously I was fucking heartbroken, but at the same time, like after I look back at it, like I was just so done with playing, and like it's just what it was. Like, even if we did qualify, I was probably not going to play in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Faze fucking Crowder.
And Nat, but does Cap want to coach? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a different step of like, you have to, now you're asking this guy now if he wants to stop playing, period, and retire. Because once you retire
I
now,
think he
you're
needs
not
to consider it though.
You're
He
done.
needs to consider it. I think he has to think about it.
It's a
Yeah,
big,
it's just a moment.
it's a big
the
decision.
moment, it's the
If you're
time.
done, if you're done now, you're done.
That's what I'm saying. It's a big decision, and
You're
I
not coming
did it
back now.
myself. Like, and then I came back,
It's a
but
big
I came back at a different time,
MJ
man.
did, dude. Last dance.
There's no coming back if you retire now, in my opinion. I really don't think there is. If Cap retires, I don't think he comes back, and that's a big decision.
Yeah.
Bro, Cap has been competing as a professional COD player since he was 14 years old. He is 25 now. That, you think about the last 11 years of his life have been nothing but wake up, team scrim, wake up, team scrim, wake up, team scrim. Like, bro, that's a different transition in the sense of not playing anymore. It's weird. I've been through it.
One more, by the way.
What?
Depend on the team. But Pat. Did someone say Pat?
No one said Pat.
It would depend on the roster. But Pat, I think Pat has the potential if he gets his head on straight too.
I think he has the potential to be a good coach. I just don't know if he's going to carry a lot of baggage into coaching with him.
I think it would depend on the team.
In terms of like who he is as a person, analytical mind, I think he would strive in it. But it's more of like the relationship side of it, totally, with when it comes to Pat.
Well, yeah, if it's not players, he like has already bumped heads or something.
Right.
Yeah. But like
that, and on top of that too,
10 years from now. And
yeah.
So like what you said with Pat and Cap, like, you also don't want to coach a team when you're sitting there watching it. Like, I should be playing. You guys, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's in the back of your mind too, like, you're not going to be a good coach yourself.
No, not at all.
Well, Pat shouldn't be playing.
Well, I mean, that's you think that. I'm talking about if he thinks that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if
tell him that.
I know you will.
People tell him every day, Clint. It's not. It's, like no, it's true. Like, he tweets, and that's it.
If I were him, I'd be thinking about what's my next step in esports.
That's what I mean.
Well, I think the same reason I took like the league ops job. Now is the time to do it because
you did great.
The fact is people are going to school for it now. People that's their dream now. Organizations are building up now. Like, there's a verticality to these organizations. Like, you can go upward, which there never was. Like, there's very much like, if you have an in,
you can even bang your president if you're in TSM.
Now is the time.
I just completely missed that comment. So
the double F thing. But anyways, that is we do not discuss League of Legends here. But yeah, like, it's just it's a timing thing. That's what it was for me. It was like, I realized that esports is growing like crazy. I would love to play forever. It's super stressful, but I'm it's just a perspective thing.
Yeah, and it's also like what you're feeling. That's a big step, man, and especially like I said, retiring.
Decision, man. It's emotional. Is what it is.
Bro, how long is this episode already? How long have we been fucking recording?
Hour and a half, probably.
Hour and a half.
Midnight.
Hour and a half.
I didn't sleep last night. Like, what?
What are you done?
We haven't even talked about like fucking Bertini or fucking. We haven't talked about half our topics.
Hey, man.
We just got the semifinals and finals left.
Yeah,
I don't really think there's
we got semis and finals
and roster changes in
Atlanta won.
No roster changes have happened yet.
There's
none have happened.
There's rumors, but we're not.
We literally talked about that already last episode. We said Pristini was an option. That was it.
Yeah, we said it was an option, but now it's like come to light that it's probably happening, right?
But it hasn't.
Yeah, but we said last week it'd be good. It'd be good fit for them, right?
Okay, all right, fuck me then. I asked 40 times 40 times an hour in my fucking Twitch chat about this goddamn thing. I figured we would talk about it.
Clint's cranky, dude. Get some rest, man. You guys want to end it there, G? Like,
no, we didn't end it. I'm having a blast. I could talk to you guys forever. I was just genuinely curious how long this goddamn episode is.
Hour and a half. Bro.
Oh, holy shit! Let's keep going. Let's make it 3 hours.
Okay.
What's next?
What semifinals?
Yeah, semis.
The Sunday was probably.
You're so annoying.
Sunday was probably the best day of games we've had all year. Sunday was awesome.
It was really good.
What we had the Toronto Optic go game 5, Atlanta New York go game 5.
Chris, what's your Dom thing? I wanted to ask you this. Not thinking about the semifinal on Gunrunner. Like you guys, obviously it's a strat, but we haven't seen it much. Where you guys completely with the A spawn just said fuck B, hit C, hit C, hit C, hit C, hit C, hit C, hit C until they can't focus B, then 3-cap them, trap them. Like what?
I told you on broadcast what it was.
No, I get that, but we really haven't seen another team do that, or at least try as hard as they did.
No other team has done it.
I've not seen that.
Yeah,
correct. That was a new strategy. It's basically just Chris can correct me, but it's almost like I think it's like an instinct to like kind of just like go for B. So I think when you're spawning back C, like you just don't want to lose C because you'll continue to spawn there.
Chris can't talk about this shit.
You'll continue to spawn there no matter what. You'll continue to spawn back C no matter what. So they hit C first, and then they just pinch B because it's easy.
I don't know.
That's it.
Chris can't say shit, dude. Yeah, he probably even come up with that, dude. It's probably fucking selling.
It's easier to get C first than it is to go A, B, C. It's easier to go A, C, and then get B. It's easier to do that. We watched it happen. It's literally easier to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just thought it was cool. That's all.
Because think about how many times we've watched, right? When you get A, B, you can neutral C, but you've never like they always wrap back.
It's more of a lock them in. It's more a lock them in
Yep.
having this 2-cap, whereas they had the 3-cap for about 5 ticks or so. And then
yeah, but remember, I mean, it took them about 3.5 minutes to do it.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like it has to pay off.
Well, for a couple minutes, you and I were like, "What the fuck's going on?" And we were like, "Oh,
I figured it out, you dumb shit."
no, that's why I have you there. That's why I pay you the big bucks."
And that's exactly why you are next to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
I never know what's going on. What, man? I'm basically Momo with a fucking bald head.
What?
I don't know what's going on. Did you watch Momo's career? What, he put up 2 points against Ace? Wait, that was you, TeeP, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Momo did you?
Yeah, why are you
That
so
one
mean?
game 5, by the way. But
It
here we
did
go.
go game
Oh, I
5.
was giving Phil shit.
I know. You were a maniac, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
yeah,
sleep last night. I can say whatever I want.
Let's get through this.
I mean, honestly, semifinals were closed. What do you guys? I mean, yeah. Do you guys have any thoughts on the semis, final?
Who played? Oh, yeah,
Optic Toronto, Clint, that win game 5.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
New York.
And then New York, Atlanta win game 5.
How the fuck did Toronto get that far?
What is going
They
on?
played really well.
No,
They played well. We had a
it was fun to watch. No, they did look really good.
You know, the
I can't believe
semifinals,
Brack's
though,
not playing, dude. I want to see Brack play.
the
Bro.
Toronto Optic, I don't think anyone was predicted. I don't think that was
No.
predicted at all. I think both teams obviously played well. I
Mm.
think I would love to see both of those teams produce that again. You know what I'm saying? Just because I think like both those teams, if they can keep consistent, would be really cool. And then on our side of the thing, I mean, I could have told you we were going to face off New York. I think everyone kind of waited for that match, and I think that match went exactly how everyone expected it. A crazy ass game, a bunch of tough maps, really close, intense series, and one team was going to come out. Like obviously, it was going to be a close match, and we happened to obviously come out victorious on that side. But I think New York's an incredible team. I think they played amazing. I think that series is going to be a tough one, no matter what. I think they're a great team, and we just happened to get the better of them that day. It's just one of those. I think that's going to be one of those tough teams that
Yeah.
teams play. It's just going to be a hard one, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that series again. That's really it.
Like based on these results, do you think like if on the Optic side, like do you just keep going with Gene, or do you think something's in the works already?
Something's in the works, in my opinion.
But then you got second. It's like, what if it gets? Yeah, I don't know. It's
Go ahead and play the video in the chat. Play the video in the chat.
I can't see the chat. I'm sorry.
Dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll like, mess up everything. But
I imagine like they like I think they know. I think they know they can put up like solid results with Chino, but it's a matter of like, do we think we can be the best team in the world with him, right? And that's just that's the question they have to ask themselves. For me, I think they're a change away. I think they need a selfless guy. I think someone like Pristini here would be awesome, right? Like
right.
I think even the same thing for Chicago. Like someone to even help TJ to go first, to switch it up now to almost set him up.
Yeah,
I don't know who could fit that.
TJ has a lot on the
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So.
And I would still love to see Dashy back with Inflex. Like it's the MP5 is great, but we know how good of an AR he can be. Like
Yeah.
so
Totally.
I would like to see those roles.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
we'll
it's
see.
a Celium thing too. Like Celium can obviously run an AR. We've all seen it, but
Yeah.
and he can obviously run a sub. But
Yeah.
you know, you don't want him doing full time either. You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of, yeah. Like Dashy's almost too good to not be doing one of the others.
Yeah.
When it,
for
that
sure.
makes sense.
And I'm happy Slasher's on
when you're-
AR because that fool
when
had
you're
a year or it's home series and a half. That fool was a
Yeah.
beast this weekend.
Every time Austin uses a goddamn AR,
Yeah,
he's
seriously.
so good. Like he's just such
Yeah.
a good player.
I actually get
But, like-
mad when I see him with like a sub. I'm just like, what's happening?
Yeah,
What are we
just-
doing here?
When you have also like a big thing that's like underrated in flex players is like when your flex player is pulling out an AR and he's probably like the best AR in the lobby, like Dashy. You know what I'm saying? That's
right.
like all right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy because like that's how I view Celium a lot of the times. Like when he pulls out an AR, he's up there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Celium's an incredible talent. So it's like I think Dashy's like that too, which is why I would love to see him on the flex. Like, yeah, he did great with the sub, but yeah, I think if you were asking me honestly, Chino did great. He brought a lot of vibes. This is a weird topic, but maybe he like somehow he becomes like on the coaching side of things too. I don't know if he obviously doesn't want to play anymore. Like that's a whole other topic. We don't want to go down there, but like it's like I think they still kind of want to make that one more change to really like higher their floor. Kind of what I was talking about before, how Florida has that low floor. We obviously have seen up floor right now. We don't like it, right? They want to up that so when they do have off events or they're not getting along, they're still doing okay, right? Like they had that one semifinals, but they obviously have higher standards. So I think they're one change away still. I personally think if I could speculate, they're probably still looking for one.
For sure. Alrighty. Well, you guys obviously saw there that Faze took it home. Big championship for you guys, Crowder boy. Nice job.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. You're a beast. Obviously, you said your choice
Faze
words.
Crowder.
You said your choice words about what you guys, what you want to improve upon moving forward. Even though you did get the win, yeah, you guys looked a little bit sloppy sometimes, but the fact that you guys are still able to come through and win again is amazing, and to show a lot of improvement too. Like I feel like that was, go ahead.
That was my biggest point with them is like I'm hard on them, and our culture has taken a major shift after the Dallas embarrassment.
Yeah.
And like the one thing I was happy with is like for me, coaching players is just like work ethic. If they would have, I promise you, I swear up and down, if they would have came out to this event and got 8th place, I wouldn't have been mad. I would have been mad, but I'm saying like I would not have been mad at them.
Like wake up call to them.
Like I would have just been like, listen, guys, like we put in the effort and we got shit on. Like we can go again, and like it happens. But like,
Oh, gotcha.
but like seriously, like no, like they put in so much work. The culture was there. We changed a lot of attitude. Like everything did a 180 shift from how we were preparing, and like
when your team's ready. You know,
I still would have been like if we lost to that New York team, I really would not have been like disappointed in them. I would have been upset we didn't win. But yeah, I was super proud with how hard they worked and they showed a lot of work. I mean, like I love those kids. So it was cool to see them come out with a win. I still think they stink and we need to get way better. But like,
of course, that's the mindset you have to have, right?
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, our work ethic was there, and we need to keep that. Period. Sure. I think our culture shift was the biggest thing there, though. I really know I don't want to go too far into it, but yeah, that was the biggest change for us after that embarrassment of Dallas and all that. That was we needed that, and I think that kick in the ass was good for us.
For sure. What's the next one? What's the next home series?
Seattle.
Seattle's the next one. We'll be covering that for our next episode. This was a long one. I hope you guys enjoyed the different takes on the whole coaching switch up. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to cover in this one besides just the tournament. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, watching. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow the podcast wherever you guys watch. And we'll see you guys next week sometime for the next episode. Have a good one, everybody.
I love you guys.